What up?
What up?
Hello.
Welcome to episode 7489.
It's 49.
49?
Right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's close.
So guys, something big happened.
Yeah.
We've been waiting a really, really long time for this to happen.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people were like, when's he gonna do it?
Uh-huh.
Babcock got fired.
Oh, I changed the jerseys behind us too. If this makes it to the audio or the video portion of the show.
Yeah.
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 That's it. Nothing else
That
happened.
was the funny
It's not. Kristen and I got engaged.
Wow.
We did it.
We did it.
Thanks,
Achievement
everybody.
unlocked.
Yeah, achievement unlocked.
If I had better editing skills, it would just pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beer.
We were in Pennsylvania this weekend
Yeah.
to see Hosier. If you like music, go see Hosier. He's really, really good live.
Also,
That's
listen
good.
to Angie McMahon, who was the opener.
Angie
who's
McMahon was really good.
Fucking great.
We eat a lot of great food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you're in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, we recommend the Bayou. That place was fantastic. I had the best chicken sandwich in my life, even though I had both Popeyes chicken sandwiches. I don't know if I talked about that last week. I had both of the new Popeyes chicken sandwiches. They were lit.
Wow. I don't think I've ever had Popeyes before.
It's good.
That's good.
The chicken sandwiches are way better than anything else they have on their
I
menu.
Okay, good
also
to
think the breading for the chicken is a lot better than KFC's.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Personally.
Definitely
Not
not
a
as
big
greasy
KFC
either.
Yeah, the grease is the big factor.
Where in Pennsylvania is that? In like a north south?
I was gonna.
east?
We're
say,
north of Philadelphia by an hour
It's on the
in
Philly
Pennsylvania.
So like it's
Bethlehem.
north and northeastern.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's very close to Jersey.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like about an hour
That's
away
fine.
from Jersey as well.
We
Pennsylvania's not big. Or no, it's not small.
It's not
It is
small.
big.
yeah. It's not small.
It's gonna be like this.
No.
all night.
Oh no.
We went to the Moravian.
Yeah.
It's a college, but it's their bookstore.
So okay. So the bookstore used to be its own thing.
Right.
It was established in like 1745. It's the oldest functioning bookstore in the United States, and also like by de facto because one closed like a couple years ago or switched locations a couple years ago. It's the oldest one in the world. So anywhere we go, am I really low?
You're fine. It'll pick it up.
Anywhere I go, I like to look for a bookstore to go to. And I just so happened to see that it was the oldest one, and now it's the Moravian College bookstore.
It's because big college coming in, stealing up
Big
bookstores.
college,
And then
Barnes and Noble.
essentially that's what it felt like. It felt like a mini Barnes and Noble.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a Barnes and Noble.
Found this little park nearby. And that's where it happened.
That's
Not really much else of a story there, except I almost threw up.
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah.
There was a moment because I knew when I didn't know.
You didn't.
No,
You didn't, and you keep telling people you did, and you didn't,
and
no,
Listen
because
to me.
no,
I have
because I'm
good
tired of you
intuition.
perpetrating this lie. I knew it.
I didn't know.
I
but
knew
I
it.
suspected because while Ian does like an outdoor activity,
I've been known to like that occasionally.
he's not a walk in the
fisherman.
park kind of guy.
Yeah.
So when he said, let's walk to that park, I was like, at first I was like, yeah, okay. And then in the back of my mind, a little part of me just went,
No.
I disagree.
and then there was,
Yeah, as do I.
There was a part, because I almost threw up. There was a part
There
where
would've
we
been
were
so much
standing
vomit.
in the middle. It was like, the park had a bunch of historical buildings. Like, it was like a little historical village kind of thing with a bunch of different, like, old factories. One of them was a dye house.
Yeah.
DYE.
It was just this
and it was
dilapidated
just
stone building.
in rubbles.
Yeah.
And he walked in there and he stopped.
You know why
and
I
was
walked in
like-
there?
I was like, it's not now.
Do you know?
Not now.
Do you know why I walked in there?
Why?
To make sure there wasn't no homeless person in there that was gonna jump out at us.
Yeah.
If I was homeless, that's where I would be.
Congratulations.
In a house.
You know?
But
Yeah, that was cool. I don't
That's
have my
fun.
ring on right now. But
it's getting
there's a
resized.
There's a
Nor
picture of
does
it on
he.
Twitter. Also, yeah, thank you to the 2 people on Twitter who was like, yeah, that ring's too small. Yeah, I
Yeah.
fucking know it.
You
Thank
guys just go around on Twitter and like look at people's happy moments while you sit with
Sometimes
with mustard all over your shirt and just be like, oh, it's too small. Mom, microwave another corn dog, please. That's these fucking
Sometimes
losers.
I go on Twitter and look at people that wrote clam when they meant to write com, and I correct them. It's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, that's a
Okay,
fun one.
that's okay. But have you ever gotten someone who's like, no, I meant clam.
Yeah.
I'm feeling clam
context
right
is
now.
important.
Context,
Yeah.
I'm feeling clam.
So don't ask us when we have a date. We don't have one yet. Don't ask us anything about this. We don't fucking know.
We'll
What?
tell you.
You
Trust
don't know
us.
anything?
Nothing.
I know. Okay. We want the sources here.
Yeah.
We need the facts.
We'll tell you.
You know what? As we decide, I'll relay it to Trevor. Trevor will be our insider, posting out leaks, and then we'll post stuff for
We
sure.
have to cut to
Trevor's
Trevor
gonna
in
be
a
our
different-
Bob McKenzie.
We have to cut to Trevor in a different room.
How
Just
much
like
money is
he's
this gonna
like,
cost me?
yeah, I'm getting word that
Yeah.
the colors are lavender and sea green.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Kristen does love lavender.
So yeah, that was neat. That feels like it was forever ago because it just does.
4 days ago.
Yeah,
How weird is that?
pretty weird.
Yeah.
Pretty weird. Kristen, fuck.
He's marrying this.
Well, I text Trevor before most people knew.
Yeah.
Wow.
You were one of the
Yeah,
first.
so let me take you through what this was like because I've never had to get in front of a message like this before and make sure.
You gotta get ahead of it though.
Absolutely.
Been engaged before?
So first of all, no one knew except me. I was
Yeah.
the only person and the guy who I bought the ring from.
Yeah.
But fuck that guy.
Don't fuck that guy.
Nah, he's fine. You're right. I'm engaged. I can't do that.
Party.
So I was controlling the message from the beginning.
Yeah.
But then as soon as it happened, I was
like
like,
Lou Lamorello.
we had our cry. Everything was good. And I said, call your mom. I'm going to call my mom. They should be the first people to know.
Yeah.
And hey, Ian, how long did you have this ring in your possession for?
So-
in my home.
Since the end of August, it's been in here.
Oh,
It's been in
that's
my
not that
closet, which is
long.
right behind the camera.
That's
don't think that's that long.
I think it's kind of a long time
That was like
Depends.
to
5
have a
months.
ring for. Yeah,
August, September, October, November, 4 months.
4 months, yeah.
4.
And November's not even done yet. I did it halfway through November.
But you bought it
Yeah.
in July.
Yes, but it
So-
didn't get here until August. Anyway,
I think anything over 6 would be. I'd consider that
Excuse
long
me.
time. Anything under
Okay.
3 is definitely fine. In the middle, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
just trying to figure out like immediately who needs to know before we put this out into the
Sure.
world.
Yeah.
So we called our moms. I called my brother. I called my dad. I called my sister. I texted Trevor because I've never called Trevor before.
No, I'd be concerned.
Yeah, I know. I was
And you
like-
wouldn't have picked up
I was
because you were
like,
playing Call of
We
Duty.
should
That's-
FaceTime him or something. But then he was like, no, we don't
We don't do
Trevor.
that.
No, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
And it was even more of a pain you texted me because we always talk in the Twitter group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I was like, he texted me. I'm like, oh.
What?
I know. He
That-
was like, he
I've-
goes,
I've raised
maybe it's
certain
not
levels of
serious
escalation
enough."
here.
He's like, maybe it's
Def-
not. Maybe
Well,
it's too.
This is a Facebook Messenger. He never does that.
He was like, I think it's too serious for the Nosebleeds.
Yeah, I was like, it's a little too serious for the joke name
I didn't think so.
group chat that we have.
Nosebleeds.
So we got in front of that. We got the last person we needed to contact was my little sister,
Okay.
and I just couldn't get a hold of her for like the longest time. And we're like holding
Her and
on to
my
this, like the
older
world
sister
needs
were
to
neck and
know.
neck.
Right. We finally got it out, and we put the Facebook post out to all of our family. I put the tweet out, went on Instagram, all that, and our phones melted. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we had to go to a concert that night.
Yeah, our phones just completely melted. It was nuts. Like we were just sitting. We were in a hotel room. We were just sitting in bed, just breathe for
Yeah.
like no joke, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it was unreal.
Yeah. And then I had texted people who were like, they weren't people who needed to know immediately, but I thought it'd be nice of them
Right.
to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
And
the
then
same.
like later that I was like,
Yeah, it was nuts. If you have anxiety about notifications like I do, I hate my phone blowing up. It was a rough couple minutes for me. I don't have notifications on for Facebook anyway, which is good because
smart.
It was like 90 people.
Yeah.
That's the most interaction I've ever gotten on anything.
yeah, it's nuts.
Of course.
Um,
You do.
yeah, so more to come on that.
That's
Maybe,
exciting.
maybe we'll
though.
live broadcast the wedding. I don't know.
What?
Nosebleeds at
Invite
a
all the
wedding.
fans. It's a live podcast. Do it live.
Everyone
Yeah.
in the audience gets a nosebleed.
Yeah.
You
Dude, that
have
was
to.
not to change the subject entirely, but that was me on my way into work this morning. I had a nosebleed while driving the car.
Oh,
That's
fuck,
not
dude.
fun.
I'm driving down in Danbury, Connecticut. I don't need to get that. Essentially,
Sure.
to get off my exit, I merge onto a highway,
Oh,
and then I
it's
need to merge
bullshit.
over 3 lanes.
in like a half a mile.
Not even half a mile,
It's
like an
shorter.
eighth of a mile.
Eighth.
And I have to merge over 4 lanes,
It's a
and I'm doing
pain.
it holding tissues against my, not even tissues, like the brown
Napkins.
napkins you get from like
From
McDonald's.
Dunkin'
And I'm like this,
Abrasive.
and this truck, I had my signal on. This
Yeah.
truck wouldn't let me in, so I burn him and get in front of him. Had to merge 2 more lanes. He honks at me. I'm like, But what do you want? Like, I'm bleeding. I look like a fucking crazy person. I'm just
been
bleeding.
like, I'm going to the hospital.
Yeah. Fuck you mean? I just got blood all over my face.
Yeah. You
Sorry, I
should
thought
just
this was
smear your
America.
hand on the
Got
window.
in, felt a little lightheaded because it had been bleeding
Yeah.
pretty bad the whole way in. I took the elevator with my coworkers, and they're like, Ian never takes the elevator. Like, what's he doing? And I'm just in the corner, like, kind of catatonic. They're like, Monday's right? And I'm like, it's Thursday. It feels like a Monday.
Yeah.
But
Did you eat your breakfast burrito?
I did. And it was
Better?
fucking good.
Where'd you get it from?
It was just a
It's
freezer
frozen.
burrito.
Oh, sick.
I've never really done that before, but I was
No,
like, this seems like a good idea.
Sometimes they can be good.
You know who had a worse day at work, though? Mike Babcock.
Mike Babcock.
Shall I say,
Ian?
the Bab clock strikes midnight.
Fuck
Ding,
yeah,
ding, ding.
dude!
Wow.
He got fired.
Mike Babcock relieved of his duties after the Leafs have lost 6 straight games. His last
Ouch.
was the loss to the Vegas Golden Knights, where Marc-Andre Fleury made
A 6.
what could only be considered the save of the year. Like, how did he do that?
From
Holy
one
shit.
angle, there's better angles. Like, from one angle, it looks a lot better than another on my... Like, I watched one where, like, it looked like he was looking at the puck for a while, and I'm like, you had time to get over more.
But it
I mean,
looked
it was
great.
A good save. It was a good save.
And I want to point out
think
that,
he made it
that
look better than
Marc-Andre
Yeah,
Fleury
he
has
put
made
on
2
the-
saves in his career that Mike Babcock must absolutely loathe. It was that one and the save in the final seconds of Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final in 2009. Fleury, playing for the Penguins, comes over and makes a huge chest save on Nick Lidstrom to win them the Stanley Cup.
Man,
Sick league.
So
career-ending
it's
saves.
funny how that happens. That was a tweet from Evan Huber, the talented artist.
The 10 biggest anime betrayals of all time.
That's a good one.
The Leafs lost 6 straight. They're 9, 10, and 4 on the season. They're only 1 point ahead of the Ottawa Senators, and the Senators have a game at hand.
Wow.
Was it? I don't know if it was the Lost podcast or the one before where I said I didn't think he was gonna get fired.
I just
I don't know. There was one podcast where
That might have been
you
the
said
last
you were
one.
like, "What if they lose like 5 in a row or something like that?" And I was like, "No, I don't think
6.
so."
I don't even then. I don't think I believed myself. I don't think I believed that it could have happened.
Dude, it's Mike Babcock.
I know.
Is a 6-game loss really a metric?
No,
is that a
but you
reliable
go back to January last year, and they're a 500 hockey team.
Yeah.
They haven't been playing very well.
That's not good.
Yeah.
They
And
should be good.
the coach lost the room. I know that we can talk sort of about the power dynamic that's going on in Toronto. Who really made this decision? But I feel like they have to think there's a bit of a ticking clock there. They have to get something going. They can't
Yeah.
afford to waste seasons like this.
Yeah.
So I mean, they promoted Sheldon Keefe from the Marlies. He takes over.
As Chief Keef.
Chief Keefe, the Toronto Maple Keefs.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Thanks. Yeah, I like that one. The largest advantage that he has over someone else that would come in is he's experienced with these players.
Yeah.
Because the Maple Leafs have done a really good job growing from within. They don't have a lot of guys that they've acquired from the outside. Maple Leafs that Sheldon Keefe has coached: William Nylander, Kasperi Kapanen, Zach Hyman, Andreas Janssen, Frederic Gauthier, Trevor
Damn.
Moore, Dmytro Timashov, Nick Patan, Pierre Engvall, Justin Hall, Travis Dermott, Martin Marincin, Casimir Kaskisuo,
That's like the whole team.
and he played against Jason Spezza. So there's that.
Oh.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's like the whole team.
That's really
Short
that's
of Marner and Matthews because they just skipped the AHL
Tavares.
entirely. And
I'm
Tavares
just-
because they acquired him.
I'm just glad that it's not one of the recycled coaches floating
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, I mean, there's not any left. Now, you could say, well, they just hired
Babcock's like, oh.
Dave Hackstall to be their assistant coach. He
Okay.
was the head coach in Philly last year. They didn't give him a bump and have Keefe come up and be an assistant.
Sure.
I think a lot of it has to do with Kyle Dubas. Kyle Dubas has had Sheldon Keefe as his coach now in 3 leagues.
Yeah.
Because Kyle Dubas was the general manager of the Sioux Greyhounds of the OHL. Sheldon Keefe was his coach. In the AHL, Kyle Dubas was the general manager of the Toronto Marlies. Sheldon Keefe was his coach when they won the championship.
Yeah.
And now, this was going to be the plan the whole time. Right?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Has to be. This is
That's so
I can't
cool.
think of an instance where this has happened in sports before. Like, it's
Right.
very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For especially for like 2 guys to be able to grow, like
Yeah.
I guess I don't want to take anything off of Sheldon Keefe, but I guess like Dubas kind of just took him with him.
Yeah.
Like, to an extent.
Yeah.
But you must like him. And
If it works, you won the freaking AHL championship, so it works.
I think it's a symbiotic relationship, and Dubas,
say.
has said in conferences in the past that to have an analytically based roster and to have your team built around the idea that you can moneyball your way into winning games.
How do you know what that is?
Don't worry
I
about it.
haven't even seen it.
You need to have a coach that's on board with that. Keefe has always been on board with that. He said today when he was introduced to the team, he said, I'm not concerned with who these Maple Leafs aren't. I want them to be who they are, or something along those lines, which is what Babcock really struggled with. He wanted to make these guys into players they weren't. He wanted Matthews to be a shutdown center. He's not. Just let him go out there and score 50 goals a year. He's going to do it.
Yeah, just let them play.
Let them be who they are as players.
Yeah.
Who made this firing, though?
I think, ultimately it's on the players in the room. But I think that's really where it starts. I don't know if Dubas and who's the president? Shanahan would have taken as serious of a look at it if the players weren't so against it.
What I mean is between Dubas and Shanahan, who pulled the trigger? There were rumors at the end of last year that Dubas wanted him out. He said he's not our guy, and that Shanahan had to talk him off the ledge and say that he can't fire him. There are reports that that Dubas in his contract has the right to fire Mike Babcock.
That's what makes me think it was Dubas, that he had the executive right.
Shanahan flew the 3,000-mile flight from Toronto to Arizona to announce to Mike Babcock that, hey, we're going in a different direction. Why now?
Awesome.
That doesn't mean he did it, though. That doesn't mean he made the call.
The statement is from Brendan Shanahan. There's nothing from Kyle Dubas, except he did meet with the media today to discuss it, but it very much seems like Brendan Shanahan did this. And in which case, what's Kyle Dubas doing there? I mean, Dubas makes all the player moves, and he's done a good job building that roster to a certain extent. The cap situation they're in is shit. But I really wonder what that structure is like.
It is interesting. I think like the bigger the team, the more dynamic it is, obviously. But with the Toronto Maple Leafs, I feel like you have so many like presidents and vice presidents, and this guy leads this department, and so I don't know. I guess it's kind of broken down. Everybody has a little bit of input.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They have like a board, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Do a lot of teams have boards?
Yeah,
like
maybe.
Boards of directors?
Not that I know of, but not at least for the Rangers.
Yeah,
but
that's the like minutia.
What makes the Maple Leafs different is Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment is what owns them. They own the Leafs, obviously. They own the Raptors. I think they own the soccer team that's there. I think it's just called the Toronto Football Club. That company is owned by different companies. Larry Tannenbaum is the guy that we look at as the head of that, but I think somewhere near 75% of that company is owned by Bell and Rogers, the two telecom giants in Canada. At least I was listening to the 31 Thoughts podcast, and that's what Friedman said. So they're a situation like no one else. Yeah. And that's why you see a lot of, I don't know. One thing that I think is funny is that Toronto is the team that when it comes to spending outside the salary cap, they seem to do a lot of it. Babcock was the most expensive coach at the time. He was the belle of the ball, but he was never the right fit.
Yeah.
Right? It just seems like they almost hired him just so Buffalo couldn't have him. Because remember, Buffalo was really hot on Mike Babcock.
True.
They almost had him.
Sometimes throwing money at things works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. I wonder if that's... They didn't need the best coach. They needed the right coach.
Yeah.
I wonder if that helps them.
Which I think you do, but also it's hiring the most expensive, quote-unquote, best coach, just, in general, I think Babcock is up there.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just the easy solution. You're like, yeah, this guy's the best, here's millions of dollars, make it happen, Captain.
I mean, also, their depth of talent helped kind of mask any... I mean, I honestly don't know when the coaching issues exactly started, but when you have...
About last year.
When you have stars on your team, they can kind of mask that for a while.
Yeah. And I mean, it seemed like the Leafs... I mean, this seems like Dubas' last shot, though, right? You have the roster you want. You have the coach you've wanted the whole time. What happens if it doesn't work?
Yeah.
Like, it's a legitimate conversation to have. Like, I'm not saying that... I know there's a contingent of fans out there who can't wait to see Dubas fail. Because he's confident, and he's young, and he seems to have a different way of thinking that a lot of people agree with. And they want to see him fail. I don't consider myself in that group. What is happening in Toronto is fascinating. Like, just from a fan perspective, someone who's, lives and breathes this stuff.
It's the biggest.
I'm not a Maple Leafs fan, and yet we talk about the Maple Leafs every fucking podcast.
It's exciting.
Every episode. We sound like Steve Dangle. Like, they're just the most fascinating thing in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, moneypuck.com, which if you don't go on, they provide percentages for chances to make the playoffs, to win the cup, to get to certain rounds, to win the lottery, that sort of thing. And they're updated every day throughout the season. The Maple Leafs currently have a 24% chance of making the playoffs. There are only 5 teams with smaller odds. In order, that's Columbus, Calgary, LA, New Jersey, and Detroit. Ottawa has higher odds of making the playoffs.
So do the Rangers.
So do the Rangers.
Let's go, Rangers.
Do they make it?
Yes.
You think the Leafs are in?
I was just looking. They're not like that. The 2 games that they've played more than the other teams doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not American Thanksgiving yet. They have a week.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're too far out.
I feel like at the end of the year, we're looking at the Maple Leafs as the kid in college who's begging the teacher for extra credit.
Yeah.
Who they slacked off. They worked really hard at the end, and they just ran out of time.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to look at. We're going to see them really come into their own in about January and February, and they're just not going to have enough racetrack left.
Well, I mean,
That's my
Of
theory.
them, it's also a lot of them have been coached by
Sheldon Keefe. Yeah.
But a lot of them haven't. So
It's going to take
for a lot
time.
of them, it is an adjustment.
I mean, we've all gone through, our teams have gone through coaching changes in, recent memory.
Oh.
The Canadians.
I thought you were talking about like us actually playing on teams.
No.
And I'm like, wait, when have we ever played on like organized sports?
Call me up.
Sure.
The Canadians fired Michel Therrien when they were in first place in the division, and they picked up Claude Julien, and the play didn't really change in the first. They hired him on Valentine's Day. The play didn't really change. Once Julien got back the next year and had his training camp, you could sort of see what he wanted to do with the team. Of course, the team completely shit the bed the next season. But now that he's got sort of a roster that sort of fits where he's going and where Bergevin probably wants the team to go, they're headed in a really positive direction. But it takes time for these systems to come into place.
The good thing the Maple Leafs have going for them is I'm assuming Dubas has already built the team how Keefe would want it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Because
Like,
if he's
I
used to
don't think
winning
he was
with
building it to fit Mike Babcock
What I'm wondering is who's the next call-up
in terms
of calling up from the minors. Who's the next player to come up? Because Keefe probably puts him in a top role immediately. He knows those guys.
Yeah.
Is it Jeremy Bracco, who's a kind of an interesting prospect for the Marlies? Sort of a Patrick Kane type, but he's not that level of talent.
Sure.
But he's that
Dynamic
sort of
and...
small, dynamic, playmaking forward.
Does that mentality help or hurt the Leafs, though?
I don't know.
The fact that he's going from... I mean, the game of hockey isn't that different between the AHL and the NHL, but obviously it's at a heightened level.
I think that mentality that the Leafs players might be afraid of is that their jobs are going to be taken away. Firing their coach, they already know that they're next. If this doesn't work now...
Oh, yeah.
The mirror is the excuse.
It's 100% on the players now to start playing better.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if I think it's easy to say like players go out and give 100% every night, but I don't think they really do. So I think now I wouldn't be surprised if you see it jump for a little bit. At least in effort, but who knows if they'll get the results they want.
18 out of 23 games, they gave up the first goal this year, Toronto.
That's really not good.
They've scored the first goal 5 times. That's not good enough.
The first goal is like such a heavy predictor too on who wins the game.
Right. They don't start on time, which is an indicator to me that the coach's message isn't getting through. Honestly, I think that this is probably the best thing for the Leafs, but if you're a Leafs fan, you hope that this your hope is that this kicks in quickly. It won't, but as quickly as it possibly can. Because otherwise, I think Dupas might get a little antsy and start moving some guys away.
Mm-hmm.
Moving a Jake Muzzin, whose contract is up at the end of the year. A Tyson Berry, who's looked super disappointing in that. He's on pace for less than 20 points.
That's really
And he's
good.
usually money in the bank for 50.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they bumped him up to the top power play in Keefe's first practice, which Babcock wasn't doing for whatever reason. Part of the reason why he's not around is he made a lot of questionable decisions like that.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Either way, it's exciting in Toronto.
Yeah.
Where's Babcock going next? If you had to bet, he's not done. There's no chance that he's done in the NHL.
I wouldn't be surprised if he made the playoffs this year.
If he jumped on a team and made the playoffs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I have two theories. One of them is a little bit more realistic than the other.
Okay.
I'll start with the unrealistic one. Tampa Bay continues to struggle a little bit. They get antsy.
Okay.
Cooper out, Babcock in. The team gets worse because, duh. The other option. One of the teams that I listed that had a smaller chance of making the playoffs in Toronto was Calgary. Bill Peters hasn't exactly given them a ton of confidence out there.
He's been there a while, hasn't he?
I think this is his third season. No, this is only his second season.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
because he made the playoffs last year, but they got smoked by Colorado in the first round. Mike Babcock would be a perfect fit in Alberta. 100% a perfect fit. And you wouldn't even have to sell the fan base on that move.
Yeah, they would like him.
It's an immediate upgrade. Like, I'm with Trevor in the sense that I think there's a chance he's back in the NHL before the season's over.
Yeah.
And then the other option people were saying is Seattle. I
don't
know if
think he waits
that long.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, that's a while.
Absolutely 100%. I don't
That's
think
a
there's a
while.
chance he waits that long.
I just came up with two.
Yeah.
So if they're unrealistic,
Let's hear him.
In the spirit of Babcock taking on a team that was really, really struggling for a while and reinvigorating it, I think Jersey
Was another one that
and
came to mind.
Edmonton
just got a new coach.
True.
So I think they're a little worried there. John Hines is one of the longest tenured coaches in the league for New Jersey, and it's not going well for him.
Yeah.
So I wonder, that's a really, really good option because I think Babcock is going to look at that team and go, I can make this into something. We forget that he got that first year of Austin Matthews' Toronto Maple Leafs team into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that wasn't a great team. It was a good team.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and they took Washington to 6 games and 5 of them went to overtime. Like, that was their closest chance to getting into the second round. Forget all the 7 games against Boston. Like, that was the closest they came, I think. But, yeah, just don't see him sitting on the sidelines too long. Even though he's getting paid handsomely to do so. He still gets paid about $6 million a year.
Till I think it's 2023.
I think he's got 3 years left, yeah.
I think his contract is a year longer than Sheldon Keefe's.
Yeah?
It's something I saw on Twitter today.
Wow.
Huh.
Which is kind of sad.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got on Babcock. I think we've kind of over the... You got something? You want to finish this up?
I mean...
what do you got?
I don't know. I forget which... I think it was the backup goalie for Toronto.
The
you
new
see
one?
That little shenanigans with the
Kasky
note?
Swow?
Yeah. He hands a note to somebody on, like, from the bench.
Oh, I did see something like that, yeah.
And I just thought it was funny. Cause
He, has a Post-it note and he passes it backwards,
A lot of people, were speculating that was something, I don't know to what extent.
But that wasn't the backup goalie. The backup goalie was in. That was Anderson.
It was Anderson.
Yeah.
So...
I wonder if he just wrote a note that said, fuck this guy.
I just thought
Classic
it was interesting because it seemed like when the Habs were on the tail end of Terrian.
Oh, the Carey Price stare? The stare?
Was fucking done.
Yeah. He got yanked in a game against San Jose in the first period, and Price skated off the bench and just shot a 1,000-yard stare at Michel Terrien.
For a while.
He just glared at him. It was awesome. I love Carey Price. He's the man.
So, I just thought it was a cool...
They lost the room. He lost the room.
Yeah.
I think that's really why Babcock isn't I don't think he's an elite coach in this league anymore. I think he's a good coach, but he's certainly not a bad coach. He just lost the team. It happens. Suspension news, and we're gonna get angry about this one. At least me, I'm going to.
Okay.
Garnet Hathaway of the Washington Capitals gets 3 games for spitting.
That's dumb.
It's stupid.
This was during an altercation with Ducks defenseman Eric Goodbranson. They were punching each other with the ref in between them. The ref is blocking Hathaway's view and him from punching Goodbranson, and Goodbranson gets a rabbit punch in on him, and he just leans back over and hawks a loogie right in his face.
Hawks a fucking major.
Now, the cameras nowadays are really good, but if I can see that,
That's
that's a spit.
Excuse me, that's a spit.
He won't appeal.
He did it with his mouth guard, and I feel like that's impressive too, right?
That's
Like he had his
impressive.
mouth. I'm assuming he had his mouth guard in.
I don't know.
At some point, he took it out.
He won't appeal,
monster.
and he
We need
says
to know.
that the league's reasoning was, quote, intent to injure.
What?
So I ask you, is spitting intent to injure?
No.
I brought this up with some coworkers. One of them is a newly formed Washington Capitals fan because her husband just started getting into hockey. He's a friend of mine, and I'm trying to mold him into the fan that I want him to be.
What up,
It's kind of a nice little
Robert?
project of mine. And she said, well, spitting is assault. If you spit on someone, you can get tried for assault. And I said, yeah, so is fucking punching a dude in the face.
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing before they spit.
The only way that I would think spitting is intent to injure is if you had a contagious disease
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
spat on someone.
Biological
Yeah, Sam
warfare.
Darnold, the quarterback for the Jets, is like, he had mono this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just giving people mono.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was over our heads.
Slash whoosh, am I right?
I feel like it's that scene. Have you seen that scene from Seinfeld where they spit? No. Okay.
No.
Don't worry about it.
Did we forget that 2 years ago, Brad Marchand licked 3 people?
What was his suspension, Ian?
Nothing.
What? I feel like you
What's
get
the difference?
more
he
saliva
was on the
exchange.
cusp of being
Maybe
suspended,
not.
though, right? He
No,
was?
no.
They said
The league-
they said, hey,
The
don't
league
do
called the
that.
Bruins and said, "Get your mans." That's what happened.
Huh?
Go get your man.
Go get your man.
This season, here are all the suspensions for on-ice incidents. I'm leaving out the
PDs or
the PEDs, the lying, not the cocaine from Kuznetsov. Do you get suspended for cocaine? No. You get suspended for lying. Nick Foligno got 3 games for elbowing. Milan Lucic got 2 games for punching a dude in the face. Adam Lowry got 2 games for boarding in the outdoor game. Evander Kane got 3 games for abusive official. This is tied for the longest suspension of the year for an on-ice incident.
Wow.
That's sad.
Spitting. Now,
I'm fine with 1 game.
sure, 1 game, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
3.
Except I'm not. Because Brad Marchand licked 3 dudes and you didn't do anything.
Sure.
There's no precedent for this.
And not a match penalty.
So here's the thing. This suspension comes from Colin Campbell, not player safety. This comes from the league.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's an on-ice incident that doesn't involve player safety. However, when you say it's intent to injure, how is it
Player
not player
safety.
safety?
Yes.
Now,
Wow, that's really
An
interesting.
NHL-sanctioned suspension
So many layers.
under 6 games, if it's appealed, goes directly to the commissioner.
Okay.
The commissioner has the right to hold the suspension, minimize it, or bump it up. He can
Yeah.
increase the suspension if he
I like
wanted
that.
to. The Capitals decided it wasn't in their, or the Players Association rather, found it wasn't in their best interest to appeal. And I don't understand why. They have such a great case by just pointing to a picture of Brad Marchand and saying, he did this 3 times and you did nothing.
And the NHLPA has stood up for much grimier fucking people.
Absolutely.
Like, they've been like, yup, let's fucking...
And it wouldn't go to an independent arbitrator who would just cut it in half. It would go to the
Right.
commissioner, which is even worse because the commissioner isn't going to go against Colin Campbell.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that.
Are licking and spitting the same thing, though? Are they
That's what-
comparable?
See, I was going to ask, would you guys rather be licked or spat on?
And the other argument is, would you rather be licked or spit on or punched? Spit on or punched?
Like, what kind of spit? Like,
Where does it
The
land?
Garnet Hathaway spit.
Where does it
I'm
land?
not-
Where did it
didn't know
land?
that yet.
On his face.
Cheek
Fuck,
or
punch
like, are we going eyes?
Hey, don't think it matters.
Oh, to me it does.
Punch me.
How hard of a punch? I might do punch.
If I'm in a fight, I would rather get spit on because
me
then
too.
I have...
Swing back.
Right. He used his bullet, and I now have basically a green light.
Yeah.
No one's going to go, hey, you shouldn't have punched him. He spit in my face. Oh, he did what? Nah, punch him again.
Yeah.
Second time.
Do you think if the other player was to send back a retaliatory spit, would he be seeing
just two dudes hocking movies until they're dry and there's nothing coming out? Like, bring me the water. It's so dry. I got an old man drink the water.
I would rather be licked.
Yeah,
I'd rather be licked. You know why? Because you could do this and it's gone. Spit, it's like you're smearing that shit.
Yeah.
No.
So my conclusion on all of this is the NHL isn't a hockey league. It's a social experiment. Why do they think that they're able to say the licking? Nah, it's not a problem. Spitting, 3 games. Where did they get that number from?
That's really bad. Yeah. I would like an explanation.
They're not going to give you one. They haven't given one to anybody.
No.
I'm really upset they're not appealing either.
I would
like to force them to like make a decision on
it. Make the league
another decision, I guess.
Because now that the standard is set, if you spit, 3 games.
Also, this isn't entirely related. But last week we were talking about the Avalanche player who was on the ice bleeding from a head
that's
wound.
the next thing.
That's not a thing that you stop the game for. But also spitting is an intent to injure?
100%.
What the fuck?
I don't understand.
What if you accidentally spit on someone?
Playing hockey is intent to injure.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked you want to think about that? Fighting is intent to injure somebody.
No one should have intent to injure.
I think it was
intent to impede.
Tell me that a fight between two.
I mean,
that's part of hockey.
Slashing.
There's no 3-game suspensions for getting in a fight. No. A clean hockey fight, and those are you're putting your fist as hard as you can into the other person's head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's the NHL has the most NHL brain ever.
Ever.
This is the
this is galaxy brain.
It's hilarious how they're passing this off. I don't understand.
Oh, do I?
Let's talk about that injured player rule.
Okay, let's.
Vancouver versus Colorado last week. Vancouver's in the offensive zone. Elias Pettersson takes a shot that hits Matt Calvert in the face.
In the face.
He was trying to block it, hit him in the face. He's laying on the ice.
He did a good job, though.
Bleeding from the head. Pettersson skates over to him to check on him, like, yo, you all right? And he wasn't. And Pettersson's like, play's still going. I'll come back to you, but I need to help my team score a goal.
Apply pressure.
And that's what they did. They basically treated it like a power play from that point. And they scored.
I'm going to apply pressure to the wound.
Yeah.
But also to the other team because now they're short.
Yeah. And they scored a goal. They didn't win the game, which if they won that game, if Vancouver beat Colorado on that goal, that would have just been a nightmare.
Yeah.
The rule in question is Rule 8.1, injured players. I have the text from the rule here.
They texted it to you?
There's a very clear break in this rule where it says one thing and then it says another. The first part is when a player is injured so that he cannot continue play or go to his bench, the play shall not be stopped until the injured player's team has secured control of the puck. If the player's team is in control of the puck at the time of the injury, play shall be stopped immediately unless his team is in scoring position. Pivot.
Wow.
Big pivot here.
Okay.
In the case where it's obvious that a player has sustained a serious injury, the referee or linesman may stop the play immediately. So the rule is essentially, here's the rule, but fuck it, do what you want.
Yeah.
Also, like...
Can I ask you, is that how every rule in the NHL is, or is that just me?
Yeah.
Goalie interference. It is, but it isn't.
It is until it isn't.
Right.
They make a rule, and then they say, well, if the ref thinks this way, they can do whatever they want.
It's so bogus.
We're already seeing the backlash of this rule. Because in Montreal's Wednesday night game against Ottawa, Cale Fleury obliterated Vladimir Mascots with a hip check. Completely clean hit. Puck was there. Finished cleanly. He just went airborne and his ass landed basically where the boards meet the ice. And he hurt his butt.
Yeah.
He laid on the ice.
Coccyx injuries are no joke.
Montreal retrieved the puck. Ottawa didn't have the puck anymore. Montreal retrieves it, is skating back the other way for probably 5 or 6 seconds. And then they blow the whistle dead because he hasn't gotten up. Colorado never got control of the puck. I'll give you another example with the Canadians that I've been ranting about, and people must think I have a tinfoil hat on because I seem to be the only one who saw this and was really annoyed by it. In the game against Columbus last week, last week, maybe 2 weeks ago at this point, Montreal takes a shot. They're in the offensive zone. Ryan Murray, the defenseman for Columbus, blocks it with his knee. He's hurt. He's down on the ice. He's not moving.
Yes.
The play goes back the other way. Columbus gets 2, maybe 3 shots on goal while he's still down in his defensive zone. Montreal got the puck back and started breaking it out, and then they blew the whistle. Mm-hmm. It was like Columbus was playing like Montreal had a delayed penalty.
That's ridiculous.
Why are we being penalized for their guy getting hurt in a way that, one, he put himself in that situation by blocking that shot?
Right.
Sure.
So, once again, my biggest problem with the NHL is that it is impossible to apply this rule book in the real world.
It's just it's too fast, and there's too many inconsistencies in the league to.
They need to be much less like baseball is with their strike zone. The strike zone completely depends on who the umpire is that day.
And who the batter is.
Yeah, but that's a little bit better. At least there's something in the batter's control.
Right.
The umpire completely decides the strike zone on a night, and you can't argue it.
Yeah.
I don't want hockey to be like that. No more subjective bullshit.
Yeah.
Call the rules the way the rules are written. And if that involves rewriting the rules so that you can call them in real life, do that.
And it's all just like, to me, it boils down to like an overvaluing of the ref's judgment. When there is no feasible way that 3 dudes can be watching the game perfectly.
Well, they've shown us that they can't.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Every year we come up with new rules to challenge and review plays because they're humans and they fuck it up.
Yeah.
Right. And out of all the sports, I find them particularly inept at their jobs.
Right. And especially when you have rules written that are so subjective, like, why would you give credence to someone's opinion when the rules are subjective?
Rule 8.1 reads, here's what you're supposed to do, but do whatever the fuck you want. That's how that rule reads to me. How are you supposed
to say anything with authority if the rule is written like that? This is what it is. This is what it means. Except do what you want.
Where we're headed with this, and I hate slippery slope arguments, but I can't help but see one here. If you make a rule where a player gets hurt and he's down on the ice, first of all, how long does he have to be on the ice before it's called back? Mm-hmm. Where does the face-off go? What if he's lying? Because players in hockey have never faked injury before.
But what does that rule...
Wait, yet they have?
Oh! Got him.
What does that rule determine a serious injury as?
Right.
It doesn't.
What sort of medical training do the refs or linesmen have to...
I think bleeding from the head is a pretty serious fucking injury.
And they didn't apply that rule. They applied the first part of that rule, which was incorrect.
Yeah. Not correct.
A ref in the Rangers game the other night took the puck to the mouth. 5
stitches, came back and called the rest of the game.
Yeah, he just got some glue and...
He stitched up. Yeah. Blowing the whistle must have sucked.
I think they stopped the play like immediately too, which is even funnier.
So during that game when it was 3-1 and you tweeted, man, I hope the Rangers read Brendan Lemieux is smart enough to not fight Tom Wilson, and I turned the game on and they're fighting. So I retweeted right back at him. And then what happened?
I called it.
But you were like, okay, it's 4-1, so it's fine.
Yeah. At that point, it was already like 4-1, and they were, I think, 3 minutes left. I'm like, okay, they can't come back yet.
Yeah.
They can't come back now, so.
Anything else on that injury?
No. Let's talk about the Rangers.
So the Canadiens and Rangers play on Saturday.
They do? What?
Yeah. And
crazy.
We won't be able to watch it. We'll be at a party.
Oh, no.
I know our friend and my cousin, friend of the show, Dolores, had asked that we watch the game together and podcast through the game. And fun. While we can't do it this time, I think we ought to do it at some point.
We should. Yeah. We should.
Maybe live stream it.
Ooh, yeah.
We could put together a live stream on Twitter.
Because otherwise it's going to be like a 3-hour-long pod. Oh, no, we could, I guess, take breaks, but then it's a lot of editing.
Yeah. I think the real issue is we'll have to put it on mute because it might get flagged for the audio being in there, but I don't know.
Yeah, if we just live stream out.
Yeah. We'll have to, but I thought it was a good idea. It'd be super fun.
For sure. Especially if the Rangers won.
Yeah, sure. So we can't do that this time, but we do have questions this week.
Oh my god, do we have questions this week?
Let's pull some up.
Sure.
Which one do we want to... Do we want to get to questions first, or do we want to do our Thanksgiving power rankings?
Oh, is the Thanksgiving power ranking not a question? I thought it was a question.
Did someone ask us?
No, it's self-made.
Okay,
yeah.
Then we could do whatever.
We could do that.
We could do some questions and then some power rankings and some more questions.
We're bringing power rankings back, folks. We're going to try our best. Right, it's tough because really we've kind of run the gamut. However,
there's so many categories.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
American Thanksgiving is next week.
Mm-hmm. A week from today.
We'll probably record that Friday afterwards, I would imagine. None of us are at work. We could all just hang out and record a podcast in the afternoon.
Friday.
Black Friday?
I think I do.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Fuck you, dude. What do you mean?
I mean,
Bank isn't closed the day after Thanksgiving?
Nah, I know I have Thursday off, obviously, and we close
on the
early on
biggest shopping
Wednesday.
day of the year, you think banks aren't open?
Well, most places aren't open anymore.
I don't know. I'll have to look, but I'm pretty sure I'm working.
Wow, your job sucks.
Right?
Anyway, let's talk about some food.
Yeah.
3 good, 3 that you don't like. Let's start with good, and let's start at the bottom of your list.
Okay.
Trevor, I'm gonna let you go first here.
I'm gonna go with stuffing. I was gonna specify whether it was stuffing with meat in it or vegetarian stuffing or stuffing without vegetables, but I didn't because I don't have a favorite when it comes to those.
It all kind of tastes the same, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I've had vegetarian stuffing and stuffing with meat.
And they're pretty similar.
Yeah. Most of
So,
us are
yeah.
getting the same box made for us, unless your mom is making, like, legit stuffing.
No.
Yeah.
In which case, give your mom a hug, because that's rad.
So I'm just going
Give your
stuffing
mom a
in
hug
general.
Give her a hug anyway. Who am I? Who am
Who
I?
am I?
It's a good answer, Trevor.
Thanks.
Kristen, number 3 on your list.
Number 3 on my list is mashed potatoes.
I also have mashed potatoes 3rd on my list.
Wow.
And I'll say about stuffing, not on either list.
Okay, good.
Stuffing is a necessary part of
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
that's where mashed potatoes
100%.
ended up for me.
I fear that if I eat it, though, it's mostly just a filler for me.
Wow.
It is a stuffing, if you could believe it.
Who's the real stuff?
Yeah, I'm a real turkey, you know?
Oh, wow.
Let's go back the other way.
Can I
Oh,
comment on mashed potatoes?
yeah.
So mashed potatoes used to be my favorite food growing up.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're a big potato guy.
I am. And however, they didn't make either list.
They didn't make either list. That's
No.
fine, though. They didn't get relegated to bad.
I think over my lifetime, I've had too many mediocre mashed potatoes.
It's
And
true.
So now they've just.
Yeah.
It's true. You're not
See,
wrong.
To me, it's just the perfect side for Thanksgiving.
It's cement.
You could just
Exactly.
It's
You
dinner
need-
cement.
You need
have
all
little-
the mixings, though.
You have
The audio podcast, you guys just going.
You have little bits of food that you didn't quite finish, or like they were too small
Yeah.
for you to pick up on your fork.
Some
and
corn.
Then you just fucking scoop it in
Some
with
corn.
the mashed
Oh, I'll scoop that corn up.
potatoes.
Oh, I'll scoop those peas up.
You need gravy, though, too.
You do need gravy.
No, I don't do gravy.
Yeah, gravy's great.
Wow,
I don't do.
You're wrong,
I
but
don't-
okay.
I don't usually do
Okay.
gravy.
I'm
Number
gonna-
2.
I'll go number 2.
Okay.
This one's sort of a mixed category. Casserole. Broccoli, green bean. I love both
Okay.
those. My mom makes a really great broccoli casserole. It's like broccoli,
It is really good.
cheese,
It is
cream
really
of
good.
mushroom soup is in there.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's my favorite
Okay.
food around the holidays. Just about.
Yeah.
That's why it's ranked
Nearly.
second.
Nearly.
Can I skip Kristen? I want green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole rules
I also want
too.
green bean casserole.
Israel, what? Oh, damn. Dude,
Wow.
yeah, in my house, you got like the...
Hey,
I don't know
look
what-
at us. Who would have thought?
I don't know what... I forget the name of the company. It's like the red tin kind of thing of like the...
French
yeah.
red onions.
Yeah, it's like the
Oh, yeah.
fried onions.
Yeah.
You put that on top of the green bean casserole.
Or you could just get a spoon in that can and go to town.
Fucking
Yeah.
eat them.
Yeah. They're
I just
great.
fucking eat them.
All right, Trevor, what's
Okay.
number 1? Since we've all established what number 2 is, what's number 1 on your list?
My broccoli casserole, which you just mentioned.
Hell yeah, good for you.
Same kind of
I
thing.
I pooled them because I
I-
can't
I should have.
separate
I
them.
should have. Then I would have gotten another whole choice.
Whole
But
other choice.
Kristen,
Turkey legs.
oof,
Specifically the legs.
rough take.
okay.
Why?
I'm very anti-turkey, and
Just
which you
dark-
will find
dark
out.
meat turkey.
I put the fucking crescent rolls,
Dude, I
Wow.
was
Crescent
gotta
rolls.
fucking put crescent rolls.
the Grand's biscuits,
Fuck.
the bread.
Fuck.
I'm in it for bread, you guys.
Fuck.
All right, let's make
Stop
it
this
angry.
shit up.
Bread originally was on my bottom 3. I originally just wrote bread.
Trevor Agnew hates bread.
But
This is going on YouTube, so you need to spice it up. That's our thumbnail. Trevor just what? And us
There's
just
a
like
bread
us
emoji.
just doing the thing where you put a finger in front of your mouth and make like a barf face, like Trevor hates bread. Turkey legs, not for Ian.
I had a really good Snapchat the other day. There was a bunch of turkeys in my backyard, and I had the little caption that said, "Let's get this bread." That's pretty good.
Wow. Yeah,
Okay.
I saw that.
Trevor, number 3 on your shit list.
Yeah. So this is the best of the worst. I want basic green beans.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
I'm loving the green bean casserole. Get the basic green beans out of my face. I don't care if they're like the whole green beans or sometimes they do like the sliced up,
Yeah.
watery green bean.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know you're
Watery
right.
green bean.
Yeah, get
Ooh.
'em out.
Kristen, what you got at the bottom?
Cranberry sauce.
Mine is also cranberry
Wow,
sauce.
yeah.
I'm not
It's
a fan.
not that It's not that I specifically don't like it. I am very ambivalent to it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
But not really for me. I don't like it. I like there's not it doesn't
like
go I don't like fruit on stuff that shouldn't have fruit on it.
Wow.
Like that's just
I just kind of just realized cranberries are fruits.
Yeah.
didn't really put much thought into it.
Cranberry sauce on a crescent roll.
It's a fruit. You're right. You're not wrong. I just never thought about it.
Yeah.
This just hit.
Also,
Trevor realizes the cranberry.
I like the tangy. I don't know. Maybe tangy's not the right word, but like yeah, like soury almost.
Tart.
That's what
Tart.
Yeah. I like the tartness of the cranberries. However, you have to be very careful. I don't want my cranberry tartness getting with my mashed potatoes.
Yeah, it's
getting
bad.
on my stuffing. No,
it's bad.
You gotta segregate that to a different plate or something.
It's a real balance. You need those plates with the ridges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like emptying a can of cranberries, and it's just like blah, 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 blah. It just comes out in one giant can-shaped cranberry.
Yeah.
You like slithers out.
Yeah,
Remember SpongeBob where SpongeBob gets thrown in the trash can and he comes out all full of garbage like he's covered in cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
Number 2 on my list, turkey.
Okay.
I can't stand turkey. Now, you go to the deli, a great smoked turkey sandwich for it. One of my favorite sandwiches at the local deli is a smoked turkey sandwich. But I've never had a turkey that's cooked well. Never.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had smoked turkey last year at my brother's place, and it was just fine. Like, I've had deep fried turkey. It was deep fried in my driveway. Like good old Americans.
Sure.
I don't care for it. It's dry as fuck. Let's do something else. Ham.
No, I like turkey better
Yeah.
than ham.
I'm a one policy voter, and it's eat something else for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Plus, I think is it capsaicin or something?
No, capsaicin make things spicy. You're thinking of tryptophan.
Yeah, tryptophan makes you sleepy.
And it doesn't really have all that much more than any other food.
Wow.
Also, you're
That's a
just
placebo effect. Yeah.
My hot take is that you're just full.
Yeah. All the blood is redirecting from your head and going into your stomach, and you're tired.
Yeah. My stomach blood.
Give it back.
Kristen, what do you got second on your list?
White meat turkey.
Yeah. So
No,
turkey.
White meat's better.
Because hey, most of it is white meat.
So like.
It's bad. Turkey's bad. I got in an argument with 4 of my coworkers today.
Like a bird that has skin on it.
And feathers still. Because
You're supposed to put some kind of grease underneath the skin so that it drips down into the meat and it makes it moist.
So you don't like turkey, you like grease. Just fine. But
No,
it's fine.
Like
Good
when
movie.
you roast chicken and you put like a pat of butter underneath with your spices.
Yeah,
so that
or
permeates.
use that baster.
Nobody does that for turkey.
Because it's you know why? It's not worth the time because it's gonna be shit anyway. That's why no one does it. They're putting all the attention on the sides because that's where the party's at. It's not with this fucking bird.
Yeah.
It's not with it.
You're right.
I don't know. What's Thanksgiving without turkey?
I wish Ben Franklin got his way and the turkey was the official bird of the United States.
And we were eating eagles instead.
And we were eating anything fucking else.
Wow.
Fried chicken. Awesome.
No.
For it.
I don't like. See, the thing I like about Thanksgiving turkey is someone already butchers it up, and I don't have to worry about bones, and it's really not that fatty.
Yeah, there's no bones in a turkey.
No, there's bones, obviously, but someone already does all the butchering.
He buys an Acme turkey every year.
It's just like a gelatinous.
He gets it in a box and he just pulls a string and all the bones shoot out into the garbage can.
Your guys' turkeys don't come out like cranberry sauce?
Trevor's eating canned turkey every year.
No, but it gets like someone gets
two-handed shaking it.
Usually some paternity or I don't know, like
Paternal.
father figure.
Patriarch?
Yeah, patriarch figure is in charge of slicing the turkey.
Yeah.
And that's their due diligence.
Yeah.
And their service to our family.
Yeah.
Okay, my second worst is corn.
Corn?
I kind of like corn, but I could live without it very much.
What's your favorite way to eat corn?
On mashed potatoes.
Yeah, cool.
If it's not
Popped.
there you go.
Kristen's addiction is popcorn.
I saw the popcorn.
Yeah.
I can eat popcorn until I fucking die.
You will. If
Yeah.
You just keep eating popcorn.
It'll go straight to your
You could do it.
thighs and then you'll blow up.
Okay.
SpongeBob reference 2.
Worst,
Trevor,
worst.
what's your least favorite thing on the plate?
Like I said, this position was almost bread, and then I had to move things around. So this was a last minute addition that I thought of at work.
There's been a trade to announce.
Yeah.
I put my worst Thanksgiving food is squash.
Okay.
Mine's similar. It would be squash if anyone I loved put that on our table, but they know that if I'm coming over, they're not allowed to do
I
that.
don't know
I
if
like
it's,
squash,
I don't
but
even,
I won't
there's a
hate
couple
anyone
different
for
kinds
eating
of
it.
squashes.
Butternut,
And
acorn.
I mean, sometimes they're like okay.
They're not.
I don't really want
bad.
them.
Squash is bad. Good
Yams
choice,
are
Trevor.
better than squashes.
Kristen.
Y'all,
See, before you go, I didn't put squash on my list because I don't consider it food. Kristen, go ahead.
y'all are not gonna like this take.
What is it?
It's stuffing.
That's fine.
I fucking hate. I used to
Wow, that's
love. I used to
interesting.
love stuffing as a kid.
It's just chunks of
I used to
bread
love
and
it. Now
What else
it's
is it?
just like the
Seasoning and-
taste. If I could think of a color that it tastes like,
color?
it's like beige. It's just
Yeah, but that's the-
I am not.
You ever looked at stuffing? You ever see what color it is? It's fucking
I
beige.
am not wasting my time. I will not dignify myself as a person who wastes my time eating beige food.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Give me the flavor.
Okay.
All right, Kristen. Okay. Sometimes stuffing can have like celery in it, which I don't think Ian would like, but
I
it
think
doesn't
it's
provide
fine.
a crunchy.
It's fine.
I think it's
I
because
don't hate it.
I've mostly had like
Okay.
boxed.
After Ian, and then I want to get your guys' opinion on another food.
Oh,
But
God.
okay, go.
Here we go.
And this is a general thing, but it's more prevalent around the holidays, especially Thanksgiving. Sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Fuck sweet potatoes. Hey. If you put marshmallows on a dinner food,
Dude, come on. It's
Come
not that. It's
on.
pretty good.
you're Buddy the Elf.
Don't hate
So
on.
It's very easy. Hey.
So
Hey.
good.
If you
I
put
just-
marshmallows on your dinner
It's the
food,
best of both worlds.
you're a
Dinner
9-year-old.
and
You're a 9-year-old whose
dessert.
parents let them stay home
I'm
for the
fucking
first time ever.
9.
Plus, there's no like they take the skin off of that usually, and so it's just like the inside, which is the best part of sweet potatoes.
How do I take the skin off when I do that?
No, you don't. When my family made it, it's like just like the inside of the sweet potatoes, and then it's like
The
marshmallows
Put like
on top.
fucking. They put like maple syrup and marshmallows on, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I like
Okay.
marshmallows
What are you doing?
and
Okay, yeah,
cinnamon.
sure. Okay.
Specifically like a cinnamon
okay.
butter.
Yeah.
That's dope on a sweet potato.
It's even better on bread.
Sweet. Okay, so you like you like baked potatoes?
Hell
a
yeah.
bit more than okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't really like baked potatoes very much. You have to dress them up a lot.
Yeah. If someone says they like baked potatoes, if someone says that baked potatoes are their favorite food, it's not. They love
Oh.
cheese, sour cream, and bacon.
Yeah.
And you can put those on
You're not
anything
wrong.
else.
You're not wrong. That's great, but don't lie to me
And butter
say-
and salt and pepper. They like all those
I
ingredients.
don't usually like a loaded baked potato. I like butter and salt and pepper.
It's like someone says that they like a supreme pizza. They don't. They like vegetables.
Yeah.
That's my take.
How do you guys? This isn't, at least for me, a Thanksgiving food. But how do you guys feel about peas?
Fine.
Fine.
You gotta eat them.
Are
You know.
better than corn?
No, I'd probably put corn up
No.
higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peas smell like feet.
Corn has it doesn't, but corn. I was like mid thought on corn, and you said that, and it registered. I was like, corn is. It doesn't, but corn like is like buttery and salty,
Sure.
and
Okay, yeah.
And
Yeah.
can be made into popcorn.
yeah,
Plus,
it could
like-
be popcorn.
I have
I think that's why
one
you're
track
most angry about it.
Plus, like corn chowder is better than split pea soup.
Fuck yeah, it is.
So.
I love
Yeah, of
split pea
course.
soup.
No, you don't.
Don't like peas. It's
bad.
Don't like peas.
Split pea soup is
That's
doo-doo.
weird.
With the ham bone and the chunks of ham.
Yeah, it looks like a
What?
potion that a
Yeah.
witch made.
You know what I mean?
Not with a ham bone.
You put the ham bone in.
Yeah.
Sometimes
You
you
get the-
you just put hot dogs. Like you just dice up some hot dogs.
Oh.
In pea soup,
Oh,
Trevor.
I'm so
Yeah, it's the
sorry.
same thing as like it's the same thing as ham.
My stomach just dropped. I don't know if it's my body telling me you're never going to be hungry again or if I'm sad. I can't tell.
I mean, it's kind of a waste of hot dogs, I think, but
Oh, Trevor.
it's coming from the guy that eats cold Chef Boyardee.
Yeah,
like,
Trevor, we should have Trevor's weird food corner every week.
Hot dogs equal ham.
same.
Same, but different.
Ham sandwich and go in.
Yeah.
It's just like a fucking hot dog.
That's awesome. All right, let's get to some questions.
Man.
We're already at an hour, but this has been fun.
Time's flying.
Let's see.
It's goofy time.
What the heck?
Which one do we? I think we have two.
We do. We have one from Beth.
We have our obligatory question from Beth because she's
Let's go Beth.
she's our ride or die
She's
fan.
more consistent than we are.
Yeah,
about
for
this
sure more consistent than we are. Let's see. I can't find it. I should
It's in my notifications.
have pulled these out, but we got inundated with another podcast talking to us. We're gonna have a guest eventually.
Yeah.
I was at work and I went on lunch and saw the Twitter notification on my phone. Were like dozens. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, someone is having all conversations without me.
Beth at Iverhuit. I don't know if that's how she pronounced it, but it's how I'm gonna pronounce it.
Hiverhuit.
Winter 8 asks, what makes a double minor? Because drawing blood isn't always it. It's a good question.
Yeah.
I want to say that that's another very NHL thing. Why does it matter if you bleed? I, as someone who has very dry skin, would bleed more easily than someone else.
You did this morning.
I did. I drew a nosebleed driving my car.
Yeah.
And the truck driver didn't get a double minor.
There's the other end of it, too, where it's like someone could get really, really badly hurt and not bleed externally.
Yeah. You, lose teeth.
Yeah.
And so my teeth aren't bleeding.
You usually bleed when you lose teeth.
Maybe you don't lose the whole tooth.
Does Trevor not bleed when he loses teeth?
It's all the hot dogs he's been eating.
My teeth are just hot dogs.
It's cured from the inside. I don't know. I think I would be happy if the league got rid of that. It's kind of stupid.
I want more double minors.
Make every penalty 3 minutes.
Or...
Make every penalty 3 minutes. What's the deal?
Wow, or just do where it doesn't matter if you score, the power play continues no matter what.
You know why I like 3 minutes?
Get rid of that one. Because
the first power play unit that comes out usually stays on the ice for about a minute and a half, and then the second power play unit sometimes gets 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Nice and neat.
It would kind of be a nice way for the sport to go. It will never happen because fucking traditionalists. Yeah. What is this? Sport trying to evolve?
That's a good question, though.
It is a good question.
Thank you, Beth.
You don't see a lot of double minors. And
Montreal took one seconds into the game against Ottawa. They killed it off and actually had the better chances on it.
And
Still lost. No, we lost. Lost. You can read all about it on RabidHabs.com, where I get real upset.
Rangers beat the Capitals that same night, though.
Saw that.
Wow.
They were the first team to hold the Capitals to only 1 goal.
I know. Montreal beat them 5-2, but we gave up 2. But we scored 5. Yeah, he looks good, huh? Panarin looks really good.
Dude, he's on a 12...
He's got 25 points or something like that.
Remember, I think, was it last time you asked me if the Panarin's happy in New York? I think he's happy in New York.
Yeah.
He's scoring.
Capo's playing with him too.
Dude, yeah, he's doing well. Hito is doing well. Everyone's doing well. It's fun.
Doing well.
It's summertime in the city.
It's not.
What?
Last question, but this one's going to take up some time, I think.
Oh, man, is it?
From at Hockey Night, spelled HOCKEENIGHT, Hockey Night. Go follow them.
I have no idea what your real name is, by the way. We've been mutuals for quite some time now.
We've been mutuals since today.
So. I have no idea what your name is, dude, so tell me, please.
They ask, if you put all the characters from cereal boxes into a steel cage, who would emerge victorious?
This is so good. I
went at this sort of scientifically, but
there's a lot you can just cross off the list immediately.
Right. Buzz, the Honey Nut Cheerios guy, it's a B.
Really?
You can go.
The toucan.
Kristen, it's a B. Are you seriously going to defend a bug that's... we're already angry. We've named one and we're already fighting.
Things into honey. He would obliterate. Oh. He would obliterate.
Yeah,
he would turn you into honey.
I think that thing has to be recharged though,
because
right?
you're honey.
I don't know.
His trident thing, the honey.
The honey wand.
Yeah, I think he needs to recharge that.
There's too many mascots for us to get through them all. So I want to kind of get into a larger discussion here because I thought about this a lot at work.
I wish I had more time.
Cereal mascots can be broken down into 3 basic categories.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many I'm forgetting. I'm just remembering.
Strong.
Okay.
The Tony the Tigers.
Right.
That was my first thought.
I would consider Captain Crunch. He has a fucking boat.
He has a fucking boat. That's what I put.
There's others that fall under that, and I can't really think of one.
Where would you place Count Chocula?
Count Chocula in me.
Category 2. Magic. Okay. There's a lot of magic characters.
Yeah.
Count Chocula.
Talking the leprechaun.
Lucky the leprechaun. Magic.
Yeah.
There's others that fit in there, but those 2 come to mind. Mm-hmm. The third category, crazy.
Okay.
Always.
Fucking thank you.
the bird from Cocoa Puffs.
Yes.
He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Cuckoo.
I don't know if you remember the old what was it? Honeycomb.
Yes.
He was like this little brown monster. His name was like
Oh.
Crave something, and he was just insane.
Yeah. He looked crazy.
I can't think of any others that fit.
I'm sure I'll think of some.
I also broke it down into 3 categories. For me...
Can I just say quickly...
No, I'm sorry, yes, go ahead.
That each of these categories sort of work like rock, paper, scissors.
Yes.
In that, I would say strong beats magic. Magic beats crazy, but crazy beats strong.
Okay, that's fair. So I put it down. I had 2... top 2.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I'll have that as its own category, and I'll get into depth about that later and why I did it. But then I had an early losers, and then strong contenders, but not ultimately the winners. So in the early losers, Snap, Crackle, and Pop, they're just gonna get fucking stopped.
Yeah, they're minutes. I didn't even list them because also they're cereal
Count
shit.
Chocula in my early losers.
Really?
He doesn't even have fangs, Ian. He has buck teeth.
Oh, you're so right. He
has
does.
Buck teeth.
That changes everything for me.
The Cookie Crisp Wolf is too nice.
Yeah, and Cookie Crisp isn't good.
Toucan Sam?
Oh, really?
Toucan Sam?
Can we pause on Cookie Crisp quick?
Sure.
That's upsetting to hear.
It's like Eucharist the cereal. Like
I don't know what that is.
It's the little Christ checks you get at church.
Oh. Wow.
To steal a Dane Cook bit from
upsetting.
2008.
I thought that's kind of always been like my
no, and that's what they
borderline holy grail cereal. It's like, oh no, I can't really eat it, but like
that's what they wanted you to do though. They played off that. It's like, I'm eating cookies for breakfast. What?
Yeah,
that's what they got you to do.
Wow. I never tried it, but like I've always like kind of been
it's
like,
not good.
The day I do is gonna be like a great day.
It's okay.
Wow.
The chocolate chips aren't even chocolate chips.
No, I'm
sorry to kill your white whale, but
dots of chocolate on
it. Not even dots, like they're kind of chalky. Like they're hard to chew.
Embedded into the.
It's bad. Continue. Jesus, you have like a fucking ton of notes there, dog.
Toucan Sam, automatic loss.
Yeah, it's a bird. It's tough. He doesn't really have a ton of powers except smelling.
The wheat thins that eat each other.
Those aren't wheat thins. Those are Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah. Whoa, throw some respect on Cinnamon Toast.
No, mini wheats, wheat.
Wow, wheat. What the fuck do you think is cereal?
In the middle of work.
God, I was gonna say Cheez-Its, but I couldn't.
They melt real easily.
Yeah, it's that talking wheel of cheese.
Honey Smacks you can throw into.
Chester Cheetah, you can call him the frog.
I had all of the mystical Halloween people in the early loss because they look intimidating, but man, are they fucking
Frankenberry?
Booberry? Frankenberry.
Frankenberry goes... No, there's also Booberry, you were right, but Frankenberry goes into the strong category for me.
The son from Raisin Bran just loses because his main goal is peace.
He's just too far away to do anything.
Yeah.
He's a
Does the rabbit from
in my head.
Prolonged exposure to me can lead to melanoma. Ooh.
For me,
2 scoops.
The contenders.
Yeah.
Captain Crunch. And in parentheses, I wrote, he has an entire fucking ship.
An army, and conceivably an army on that boat.
A fleet.
Yeah.
Cinnamon and Apple Jacks.
Why? Because I had them written down too, and I was like...
No, the Applejack guys?
Yeah.
They have skateboards.
They seem insane.
Don't count skateboard.
They got skateboards.
I had the Cuckoo from Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
In there. My top 2 are Tony and the Tiger.
Yeah, that's my one.
And the Trix Bunny. Can I just say, it's because I think the Trix Bunny has something deeply unstable about him.
But the Trix Bunny loses in every commercial.
And that's his motive to kill, Ian.
I don't know if he'll do that.
Did you guys?
I think he's about 3 steps away from snapping.
Do you think so?
From going feral.
Yeah.
Did you guys touch on the Fruity Pebbles? The
Now I had a debate. I had a debate with coworkers of mine.
Yeah.
Who are the mascots for the Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles?
Fred Flintstone and the other guy.
Yeah, Fred and Barney.
I disagree.
Did you think it was Dino?
No, it was the kids. His daughter's name is Pebbles.
But they're not. She's not in the box.
Yeah. I know, but she was in all the commercials, and I'm like, they're babies. They're gonna lose.
Which one do you like better, Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Pebbles?
I don't know if I've had a lot of Fruity Pebbles. I've had Cocoa Pebbles a handful of times.
Cocoa Pebbles.
And I like how they turn my milk to chocolate milk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I also just don't like fucking an amalgamation of fruit milk. You know? That's not. I used to have strawberry Yoo-hoo all the time. I'll admit.
By the way, do you want to know the top 9 best-selling cereals in 2017? Because that's how I helped discover this. Number 9 on the list, Raisin Bran.
Okay. Raisin Bran has some great marketing.
There's a lot of old people.
I like Craisin Bran.
craisin.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got craisins.
Yeah.
don't
I
know.
would like to add craisins to my cereals anyways.
Yeah.
And so now they just did it for me.
They just did it for you. They
However,
cut out the
I
middleman.
would add some extra craisins because
Number 8 was surprisingly low on this list was Lucky Charms. Because then number 7 was Frosted Mini Wheats, and I thought that Lucky Charms would be higher than those.
For sure.
Wow,
Number
that's
6 was
interesting.
Fruit Loops. Number 5 is regular old Cheerios.
Okay.
4 is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Wait, regular Cheerios, not
Regular
Honey Nut.
Cheerios. Yeah.
Y'all are.
You want to hang in there?
Well, there's a lot of heart.
You want to hang in there?
Sure.
A lot of heart problems.
Number 3, Frosted Flakes. Number 2, Honey Bunches of Oats. And number 1, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios are the fucking best.
What the?
They're
Have
fine.
I even had honey bunches of oats?
I haven't, but the commercials always look good.
Is that
Oh.
one with the very endearing lady?
Yeah,
with the
I
back?
love honey
Is
bunches.
she their
of oats.
mascot? Would she win?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's up there. She's
I also
she's
think-
the only real person.
I mean-
She's just throwing the mascots into like
She just-
high-level factory machinery. They're
She
getting
just-
chopped up and made into boxes.
She's the only real person, so she gets to just erase them.
Plus,
So
if
where
any
did-
of them have nut allergies,
Where did we land on this? Who wins this steel cage death? They're all on Celebrity Deathmatch
think-
on MTV, and
I
it's
think
2004.
Ultimately, Tony the Tiger wins.
Yes, he is a
Who-
bipedal tiger who's built like a refrigerator. He's winning. He's
Can that
winning
be-
this.
yeah.
Bipedal tiger who's built like a refrigerator. Can that be the title?
Yeah.
However, we're not taking into account any if there was any like not rivalry. What's the opposite of rivalry? Like
Oh.
if people start
Alliances.
if there's like any alliances, because like I could
Who do
see
you
that
think
happening.
would team up?
Like I'm talking like Toucan Sam with Lucky Charms guy.
I could
Now
see
we
that.
got Air Force. You throw in Captain Crunch.
See, I
boom,
would-
we got C's.
I think-
I
The
would see
two
I would see
fucking-
Toucan Sam and the Crazy Bird from Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, that's
I
not
was
bad
gonna say
either.
the crazy bird from Cocoa Puffs and the Trix Bunny.
Or maybe just humans versus animals.
They're just for fucking a lunacy.
You keep
match.
leaning on this Trix Bunny thing, and I don't see
I
it.
think he's about to snap.
Silly Rabbit,
He's
tricks
pretty
are for
fast.
kids.
He's pretty fast.
He's like, all my life I've been called Silly Rabbit. All my fucking life.
Yeah, Turning Tiger for sure.
Yeah, bipedal lion, built like a fridge.
Tiger.
He's a little too
Tiger.
nice, but he's got that sick uppercut.
mistake.
He also
Yeah, he's been practicing
had
that in all the
a
commercials.
moment on
Damn
Twitter
great.
where everyone was calling him Daddy, and the furries were on it.
Yeah, of course they
Remember
were.
that? Oh, Tony the Tiger had a Twitter account,
Oh.
and they were like,
That was a mistake.
they were like,
Trevor and I were like, oh, we got milkshake ducked instantly.
yeah. There were some very, very inappropriate things tweeted at poor Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're great.
And I think that's where we'll call it. Tony the Tiger wins
Great
the steel
question.
cage match.
Man, thank you so much.
We might have to do this with other
Mascot.
Foods.
other mascots.
Y'all know any
Yeah.
other food mascots?
I think that's it. We've been going for a little over an hour at this point, so
Oh, that was fun.
let's call it. This was a fun one.
It was
I
really
had a
fun.
great time. Thanks for listening. Tell all your friends. Tell your friends. Really, like I've been finding that like a lot of times what makes my day the most is when we publish a new episode and we'll get a tweet that says that from somebody to somebody else, hey, you got to check out this podcast.
Yeah,
It
that's
makes
really
it
cool.
makes my day.
That's super cool.
Because that's how we're gonna, to quote Crystalia, that's how we're gonna build this log cabin. That's how we're gonna make this cult,
Wow.
is by having them spread this.
Join our cult, everybody.
Yeah.
Ian, you have a sick mustache.
I do.
What's that
I'll,
for,
I'll
Ian?
link my Movember campaign. We're
What?
$60 short of our goal
Okay.
of 200 beans. So if
You
you
can do
can
it.
contribute what you can, don't go above your means. It's, I don't want to stretch people thin here. It's the
All
holidays.
of our followers gave
It's the
just
holiday
$10.
Don't do that.
We would
I
be,
haven't
Alyssa
donated.
Milano,
we would be
stop.
$30 short.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
haven't donated yet. I'm just gonna wait till the last day
Yeah.
and then just donate.
Wow.
5 cents.
Whoa.
This is a RabidHabs podcast. Go to RabidHabs.com. That's where you'll see my post-game coverage from most games. The 2 over the weekend that I missed, but I got the 2 back-to-backs this week. Both losses.
There you
It's
go.
not a big deal. It doesn't eat at me emotionally or anything.
I don't cry
um,
myself to
It's
sleep.
fine, it's fine.
That's where you can find that, as well as other podcasts if they ever post them. I'm worried about my friend Zach. He hasn't been posting the recency bias, and we got a comment on the website.
Are you okay?
Someone commented, I think, either on our podcast or one of our articles. He was like, "No more recency bias, huh?" And I was like, "Oh, it makes me sad. Hits me right in the heart."
Take over while he's not doing it.
Small little design tweak to our website.
Yeah. It looks
Our
beautiful.
our website. He basically owns the site. His name's Andre. He Step back into the fold and put a nice Canadians background on there. It looks nice, looks sharp.
There you go.
Added some more ads, so please don't mind the ads. We're just trying to keep the lights on. We're giving this shit to you for free. The least you could do is sit through the ads. Yeah, at RabidHabs for that. At Nosebleeds Cast for the podcast. At Boisvert Ian for other bullshittery.
How do you spell that?
No. At Boisvert Ian. Boisvert Ian.
Mm-hmm. You can follow me at In Hindsight, INHINZ site. I realize now that I'm engaged. One day that's going to have to end.
No, you can keep it.
You can do whatever you
no,
want.
It's you.
This is your
No,
podcast.
it's me.
Trevor. That's you.
Oh, okay. You can follow me on Twitter at GoldsPersonal. It is like it sounds. I tweet about different stuff like the Rangers and movies. I watched The Joker recently. Did 3.5 out of 10. Wasn't that good?
Out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay, but
I've heard people didn't like it.
I think it could have been way better. One thing I wish they did. Okay, we'll go slight breakdown. I'm not gonna, no spoilers. So from the beginning, I felt like he was always a little crazy and stuff, and I wish they made him more #relatable, and I wish I was on his side. I wanted to understand and be like, oh, he's doing something, and I'm like, oh, I understand why he's doing that. And then he does something else, and I'm like, oh, I get that.
There was no motive, you mean?
And then all of a sudden, it's slowly building up, and then when you look back, you're like, oh wait, all those things were really bad. But while you're watching, you're like, oh, that makes sense. And then I want to take me with you on your downward spiral towards crazy.
This is a really good
as
thing.
Deep as you can.
To me, this is really nice to hear because it means Trevor's not an incel.
Yeah, that's fucking great.
Yeah. Because
You're not the
if
one
Trevor
who's
watched The Joker and said, nah, can't relate, I'm happy. This is a good day.
I like that. You're not the person who's been spraying haha over all the buildings.
My friend Trevor doesn't drink G Fuel and say gamers rise up.
Another thing I was going to tweet about, unrelated, you were talking about drinking. I don't think I tweeted this. I wish ordering chocolate milk at restaurants was more socially acceptable.
Can I
chocolate milk
can I tell you that we've been making fun of a coworker of ours for some time because of an order that he places at Chili's? Coworker of mine who is soon leaving, and we're all very sad, and we're going to go to Chili's and eat what he eats next week to just live his life.
What he eats.
We are. He orders when he goes as an appetizer a skillet queso from Chili's, which is essentially a skillet full of cheese that you dip stuff in, and to drink he gets a chocolate milk. Now, those two things separated, I have no problem with, and none of us did. But that's a lot of dairy to be consuming in one sitting.
However, dairy is the best.
Is it?
It's up there on the food pyramid.
Really flabby.
Except they got rid of the food pyramid.
Yeah.
Now it's just a pyramid of sadness. But that's interesting.
Yeah, we roast him for it. It's super great.
I've been on the fence about what goes better with pizza, orange juice, or chocolate milk because they both go pretty well. And next week, tune into the Nosebleeds Podcast.
I'm stunned by the words that you just said.
Watch the video for this one.
That goes on
those last couple seconds.
That goes on the subreddit. Brand new sentence. What you just said. I don't know what goes with it more: chocolate, milk, or orange juice.
They both go well. One time I fell down the stairs when I was walking to my basement. I had my orange juice and my pizza. I kept one piece on the plate, but the other piece flew off down the stairs, and I spilled maybe a quarter cup of orange juice. And then my mom came downstairs. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah."
She beat you up for spilling in her house.
Are you okay? And she goes, "Good."
Yeah, because you ain't gonna be. All right, that's it for this week. Well, hey, American listeners, have a great Thanksgiving.
You too.
Remember that if your family shit, you don't need to go hang out with them.
Hey, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, you don't need to put up with shit arguments at Thanksgiving if you don't want to.
Yeah.
And tweet us about your food top 3 and bad top 3, or if you just disagree with us.
Yeah.
Who do you think would win in a steel cage match?
Yeah, between the three of us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Kristen said pretty quick.
Yeah, I got a nosebleed and passed out. Trevor has won.
No punches, no contact made. Kristen just passes out.
All right, everybody. We'll see you.
Right. Bye. Thanks for listening.
Bye.